Reach for the stars, wild ones. It's Bernadette, and I'm here with your Scorpio tarot reading for May 2021. Enter the dragon, because like a Scorpio needs a dragon of any kind to get through any month. Listen, Scorpios relate to snakes. Snakes relate to dragons. It all just comes full circle. And, again, like Scorpio needs a dragon by their side to accomplish anything. But here we are with wait, which side am I on? The Komodo Dragon. You'd think after a year of doing these dang videos, I'd know which side I needed to point to. And yet, okay, so here's the story, Scorpio. You really do have Komodo Dragon for your, for your tarot card for the month of May. And that, it's just gonna, here's the bottom line. It's about rebirth and change. And for Scorpios, we're all like, yeah, tell us something we don't know. Whatever. We look at the death card and they're like, oh, could I have a glass of champagne with that? We look at the Tower card and we're like, oh, does that come with dessert? Because that's just how commonplace the Tower card is for us, and the Death card, because we're all about death and rebirth and death and rebirth and change and change and change and change. And okay, so this month is not going to be so very different, but it is about missing the bigger picture. So let me explain you. So pardon me. Komodo Dragon is, they're really fascinating creatures because they just look like ancient wisdom in a scaly skin with a long tongue and big claws. That's what they look like to me. That's what they look like to me. And so, this is really going to mean, that symbolism and meaning for that particular animal ally. You are being guided toward a much needed change. And of course, listen, we're like, because I'm a triple Scorpio, y'all. So, Scorpios are like, never surrender, never say die, never surrender. And that's no joke. Our motto is, I desire. And when a Scorpio decides that they want something or someone, woo, holy bejeebus. There's nothing you can do. We get obsessed. We get scope locked. It's insanity. Now, that said, this month, maybe you want to crank it down a notch, because yes, we have great tenacity, but we may be hanging on to something that really what we need to do is move to the next level, because that next level is going to allow us to plan perfectly exactly how we're going to move our mountains, right? Exactly how we're going to succeed moving our mountains. So Komodo Dragon might be working with you this month. And, again, it's really about, if you're so focused on what you think the goal is and you're not just like a little bit flexible, you might be missing out on bigger and better opportunities if you don't, just walk away from yourself, turn away, walk away from the Scorpio for just a minute, because your destiny may not be what you expected. Because if you don't have all of the information, if you haven't been through everything, you can't possibly know what you don't know. Now, that doesn't mean you're lost. It just means that you might be a lot closer than you think if you'll just allow the perspective to broaden. Now, in May, also, the Komodo Dragon is helping you with your zodiac sign to really delve deep into your subconscious and bring in that transformation of personal change. You're going to feel so empowered. You're going to take those measures towards rebirth, basically in your mundane life. And what that really means is, just like dragons, Komodo Dragon may be earthbound now, but there's no telling, once upon a time they might have had wings. They might have been the precursor to all the dragon stories. And I believe in dragons. I absolutely believe they're real. If you don't know me, if you're just joining in, hi, I'm Bernadette. And I absolutely believe that thought forms are living, breathing things, because it's an energetic thought form, right? So maybe Komodo Dragon is earthbound now in a seemingly mundane kind of way, but do not be surprised when you're working with Komodo Dragon energy and medicine if in your psychic mind you happen to see this dragon and yourself sprout wings, and all of a sudden the world is magical because a new career change, a change in residence, a beautiful new relationship, life-changing milestones. They are like right there. And Komodo Dragon can see it. If you'll work with Komodo Dragon, you'll absolutely be able to see it. Because Komodo dragons, just like lizards, just like snakes, just like dragons, they're all about the psychic intuition, the clairvoyance, that kind of power. And sometimes your willpower can help you reach your goals, but other times it can stand in your way. And if you'll just go on a more intuitive kind of feeling your way through, which is perfect because you're a water sign, right? Just get out of your head and be open to the unexpected synchronicities. So, pardon me. Also, in May, Scorpio, you're going to be impacted by the ripple effect from activity in Taurus, as the Scorpio sign is also, sorry, I'm just so excited to bring this to you because I don't remember another month that's had this kind of potential for Scorpio, and I just want to tell you everything all at once. So the ripple effect. That is the activity in Taurus, as your sign is also a fixed sign, and then the planetary rulers, Pluto and Mars, that's going to help facilitate needed changes, especially to home, business, and family relationships. Now, May is going to kick off with Pluto in a conjunction with the moon in Capricorn, trine Mercury in Taurus. That month, you know, that's going to feel like it starts off with really intense energy. Like super sentimental desires have to be balanced with practical realities in the present. And as the saying goes, you can't go home again. No, but you can always make a different home. You can find a different home and create better memories or as good a memories or just memories. And coming to terms with a dramatic change or loss might be a reminder that you can't change the past, but you can allow for deeper transformation to help you get on a better track in the future. And so a lot of healing might take place during this month for you, Scorpio. Now, making peace with a loss that challenged your security or sense of tradition is really important now, especially when it comes to finances, because your financial status may be impacted by this change as well. And, you know, Scorpio, we're really not people for acknowledging our fears. We don't like to admit them to others, and we tend to ignore them on our own. We will face them. We just won't admit when we have any of them. So acknowledge your fears, but don't get away with thinking the worst. You've got a chance to rebuild from the ground up, and you really can make the best of it, right? Like, just case in point, I have a friend whose house, oh my gosh, y'all, Florida, black mold in Florida. There was nothing they could do. By the time they figured it out, they simply have to tear that house down to the bare floor and rebuild it again. Oh my gosh, the drama, the cost, the tears, it's unbelievable. But now that they're doing it, they're rebuilding that house exactly the way that they always wanted the house that they had, but they never made the moves to make the transformation within that house. They never did the remodel. Now they're forced to do the remodel, and they're making the best of it. It's going awesome for them. So your message or even your sense of mission may be part of this transformation and new awakening, because like what you thought was set in stone may prove to be more elastic than you thought. And draw on your intuition and the higher wisdom that you need to help navigate those changes. And Komodo Dragon can really help you with that. Now, around the 4th through the 8th of May, 2021, the message of preparing for unprecedented change is like, hello, 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 hello. And this time, because of a square between Saturn and Aquarius, another fixed sign that will reverberate to your natal sun sign, and both Uranus and the sun in Taurus. That's a lot. So this can be a really tense time filled with difficult conflicts related to your higher vision, the material world that you're trying to manifest, this vision in, and it could feel like having intense inspiration to paint only to find that most of your paints are dried up. Okay, that's annoying, but you can jump on Amazon or jump on down to the Hobby Lobby or Joann's or Michael's or whoever and grab some extra paints. That's not hard to figure out, right? But if you stay in the annoyed part, you may not go, well, I can just go down and do this, right? So if you find, if your life is full of dried paint, that doesn't mean that you can't bring your vision to the material world. It just means you're going to have to jump through an extra, few hoops to accomplish the goals. Hoop-de-whoop-de-doop-de-doo. Do it. You'll be happier for it. In the process of doing this, however, you may discover that some aspects of your plan work and some are less aligned with what you truly um, what's truly most important to you now. Don't be afraid to make the further adjustments as you go. Listen, most importantly, don't resist the urge to do the same thing, or actually resist the urge to do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. That's insanity. Pardon me. I don't know what's going on with my throat chakra today, you guys. Probably because a lot of this message really resonates with me. But a sudden change during this time will if you'll lean into it and just navigate through it, can be a real blessing. And what it does reveal to you, if you haven't really kind of gleaned that by now, is whatever you think this change is awful, or stressful or scary or whatever, realize that it's a good thing you're revealing it now, because you've just experienced it as a roadblock in the future. And would you rather have a roadblock in the future, or face what there is now and be opening to pivoting on your journey, knowing that it's going to be a better choice? Your decision. I recommend the latter with fries. So, from about the 8th to the 18th, Mars in Cancer forms a square to the wounded healer Chiron in Aries. Woohoo! Past traumas and wounds related to feeling alienated or persecuted for being who you are may resurface during this time. Wonderful! How exciting for us healers and us metaphysicians, right? Lordy be. Okay, but it is what it is. What are you going to do? And an important facet of examining these wounds and healing will have to do with questions of how you find security and emotional healing. And that's so different for everybody. But you may have to now be your own nurturer, parent, caregiver, and do that to your own inner child. As I often say, I don't really like that phrase. I haven't found a better one yet. But really, it is about taking excuse me, the responsibility really seriously, and finding greater empowerment and stronger intuition as a result. It's like that child can see everything. It's really like that. And if you overlook the process, or you try to fight through it without really doing the healing work, you might feel continually frustrated by deeper fears and insecurities projected onto others. So I don't recommend it. On May 16th through the 20th, Pluto forms a trine to the Sun in Taurus, just as the Sun finishes the transit through the sign and enters into Gemini. In this time frame, how you define yourself and how you carry power and authority, that might be under spotlight. So, shine your best. That's what I can tell you. It's a really important time to own your authority, but also to accept change and transformation in an evolving new image, and it will involve a new image. Now, the image may be called to embrace the practical, earthy, healing, and nurturing, and your image in career or business may go through a transformation now as well. Then by the 20th of May, the planetary lineup in Taurus shifts to Gemini, leaving behind only Uranus, and that you might feel as if a burden has been lifted, and conflicts that you've been wrestling with may now give way to new ideas that you can work with as you're always on that plan, Scorpio. You're always seeing ahead. You're a visionary, always ahead, always ahead. And yes, I know that might sound like I'm tooting my own horn a little bit because I'm a triple Scorpio and I say it, I often say it. This reading is about all Scorpios, and certainly it would involve me as well. And I don't know about being a visionary, but I certainly can dream up fun things for the world to hopefully benefit from. And so if you don't want to think of yourself as a visionary, because something I've noticed a lot in my clients that are Leo, Scorpio, and Aries in particular, they seem to all be going through a time that is, they're wanting to be, not that they're wanting to be more humble, but they're wanting to be seen as more humble because they truly organically are. They've come to a place where they're not quite so full of this bravado, rightly or wrongly so with that bravado, and they're moving into a time where they want to be a more service to humanity, and so they want them to see people differently. And that might be going through what we're talking about. Now, you just please stay open to surprises. And the changes, of course, even still, they might be rocky, they might be a little bit scary, but okay, you're going to get through it. You've got dragon energy behind you. You've got Scorpio energy behind you. Then on the 25th, Saturn in Aquarius comes into a square with Uranus and Taurus, and that square is going to repeat throughout the year and will continually cause surprises that erupt your, that impact your finances, impact your health, impact your business. but it keeps what the universe is trying to get to you is, what are your priorities? What are your priorities? What are your priorities? And keep going back to the priorities, to the plan, and keep the agenda moving forward. Now, that being said, your top priorities, like you may have a core top priority, but how you get there, that might be very elastic, and that might be very just something that evolves over the year. And it's okay, because eventually when you get to what your core priority is, the wow, y'all, just wow, that is gonna be some kind of something special. So wrapping it up, Mars in Cancer forms a trine to Neptune in Pisces, and pardon me, goodness, on the 28th, that's going to last through early June. Now that time is really going to be able to give a boost to your intuition and psychic awareness, and can help you resolve emotional wounds on a really deep level. Where else do Scorpios go? Deep, deep, deep. And it's a great time for romance, creativity, and spiritual pursuits. So lots of big stuff going on there, but it's going to be okay. All right. So I hope that was helpful. Pick up your copy of the Arcanimal Tarot and Oracle deck. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Join us over at my forum, gatheringofmystics.com. But what's most important? To stay wild and keep reaching for those stars.